What's up, guys? This video is coming out a couple days later than I wanted it to, but thought I would get something out here before the holiday weekend ended. Hope everybody's having a good one. So I'm still waiting to get the power rankings from my special guest. They have the list. Hopefully we'll be able to get that to you. Maybe not before the first games are over for the weekend, but hopefully after that. That'll just be something fun to kind of mix up the monotony of having to stare at me. This week I wanted to go over one thing that I may have not mentioned before, and maybe somebody noticed, maybe they didn't. We added 2 IR spots, injured reserve spots, to the teams this year, basically due to COVID. That was kind of the general consensus I've read across a lot of different platforms and leagues for the easiest way to handle it. I don't think we're going to have too many, honestly. I think the NFL has been doing a pretty good job. But if you do have somebody that comes down with COVID and they're going to be out for 2 weeks, you can move them into that IR spot. You don't have to drop them. And then it allows you to pick up another person for your active spots. It is also mean that somebody who gets regular injured, if they possibly might come back later in the year, you can move them into an IR spot as well. So we have 2 of those spots. Keep in mind that once you move someone to an IR spot, if they get marked back into being eligible to play, you're forced to move them back into your lineup, which means somebody's going to have to be dropped. So just pay attention to that. I think the platform does a pretty good job of telling you what you need to do. Anybody has any questions, please let me know. I just kind of made that decision last minute. Hopefully nobody has a problem with that. It's only really going to help us more than anything. The other thing I wanted to do today, just for some fun, was go over some fun facts from the league. Got my spreadsheet, but I don't have it with me here. I just took a couple screenshots and going to read off some of these fun ones, and hopefully you get an idea of some things that have gone on in the past in the draft and maybe look forward to the future. So since we just had the draft, and you'll know that AJ had the first pick and Derek had the last pick. We have never had a person win the league when they picked first in the draft. All the way back to 2014, it's never happened. And we've actually had twice where the person who picked last won the league. First year, Rob picked last and won, and last year, I picked last and won. Let's see. Derek is now the second person to have the last pick twice. I had the last pick the last 2 seasons in a row. And then Derek is also the second person to have 2 first overall picks, along with AJ. AJ had his first pick in 2015 and then now had the first pick this year. I don't think you can go wrong with Christian McCaffrey, so maybe his first round pick will work out for him this year. Okay, a couple other fun facts for the league. Myself with 6 seasons and Keaton with 5, we're the only owners who have reached the playoffs every season that we've been in the league. You'll know Keaton wasn't in the league the first year when we only had 8 and was added on. He's made the playoffs every time, and I've made the playoffs every time. Every current owner that we have has made the playoffs at least once while they've been a member of the league. Derek and AJ, who have both made the playoffs twice, are the only 2 owners who have never won a playoff game. Let's see. The best single season regular record in league history was myself in 2015. I did go 13-0. Obviously did not win that year. The worst record that we've ever had as a tie, we've actually had twice. John Lieber in 2016 and Matt Brand in 2017 each went 1-12. So at least we haven't ever had anyone go completely defeated. But there's always this year. 4 teams in league history have won double-digit games in a regular season. That was Rob in 2018, myself in 2015, Matt Mullins and Keaton both in 2016. But none of those 4 teams went on to even appear in the championship game, much less win it. So double digits is a good thing to shoot for. It's only happened 4 times in league history, but it doesn't really mean anything. The last 4 seasons, the league champion has won at least 8 games in the regular season. So you do want to shoot for, 8, 9, maybe not 10 if that's bad luck, but that's a good sweet spot to be in. Let's see. Our 2017. Okay, 2017 was the only year that every playoff team had a winning record at the end of regular season. So we've had some sub 500 teams make the playoffs every year, except that 2018 we actually had a playoff team with a 5-8 record, the worst playoff team that we've had in league history. So, you don't always have to have a 7-6 or better record. We have had people with 6 and 7 every year except that one time in 2017. Let's see. Myself. Okay, I'm the only person who has appeared in the championship game for consecutive seasons. And I've actually been in the championship game the last 3 years in a row. So I'm coming for you again for the repeat. Run it back. Okay. So then just a couple fun scoring type things that I thought were interesting. The highest regular season lineup score in one game is 164.9 points by Derek in 2019, last year, which was freaking wild. The lowest score we've ever had was 36 by Rob in 2014. Now we did have we didn't have fractional scoring back in 2014, so it may have contributed a little bit. It probably would have been a little higher than that, but it wouldn't have been much more than about 40. So hopefully no one ever has to see a score in the 30s again. And then I think one of my favorite statistics in terms of points is when Matt Mullins won the championship in 2015. His championship playoff run consisted of 3 wins with a combined margin of victory of 10.1 points. So he won with an average of only 3.5 points a game. One game he won by 0.4, and another game he won by 1.2. So I believe that was the year I went 13-0, and he beat me in the playoffs by a pretty small margin. So those are some fun facts for the league. I do keep our records, winning percentages, playoff winning percentages, all that stuff in a spreadsheet. If anybody needs to know their win percentage, let me know. Just know it's lower than mine. Good luck this weekend with your Labor Day holiday festivities. I'll be going to work the next 2 nights. But other than that, the first game is on Thursday night, so set your lineups. We've had a couple big names in the NFL get dropped since teams made cuts yesterday. Some players moving around, so just keep an eye out. And go Chiefs. Run it back. See ya.